We continue to work closely with both offices to oversee the activity and help prioritize projects. In fact, our recent letter to DOE headquarters and the local offices on the budget gave a 5-year list of priority projects, so that if the site was able to achieve savings and possibly redirect that into additional stimulus cleanup work, that they would have a list of items that the state felt would be priority for them to invest in preparation. We know that the budgets are going to be very tight in 2012 and beyond. Our nation's struggling with a really difficult budget choices, so that we believe that having had DOE demonstrate their effective use of these fundings, that partnering with them on the decision making helps make our sites seem more, quote, investment worthy, we hope, so that they will be looked at in a positive way in the future. Maintaining cleanup momentum is a key to meeting the 2015 vision that Matt spoke of, the TPA legal requirements, retaining our community's economic vitality, and reducing the long-term cost and schedule for cleanup at Hanford. So it's really critical for each of us to encourage our congressional delegations to continue their excellent work on securing funding and to support energy and its contractors in the work they're doing under the stimulus. Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Our final speaker is Dennis Falk. Dennis has 20 years of experience dealing with the cleanup issues at the Hanford site. Since 1991, Dennis has worked at the EPA Hanford Project Office overseeing cleanup of soils and contaminated buildings in the 100 area along the Columbia River, and cleanup of the carbon tetrachloride groundwater problem in the 200 West area. In addition to his project management responsibilities, Dennis is the Hanford lead for public involvement for the Hanford Project Office. In 2004, Dennis became an EPA project manager at the DOE Idaho National Lab. In his capacity at Idaho, he has oversight of the cleanup of the transuranic waste disposal area and the old chemical processing area, and also serves as EPA's lead on decontamination and decommissioning projects. A lot of big words in your introduction here. I'm kind of struggling. Sorry, Dennis. Prior to his career in the nuclear industry, Dennis spent 3 years as a high school teacher in Toppenish, Washington. Dennis received his BS in agricultural education from Washington State University in 1982. And once again, go Cougs.
Yeah. Well, good afternoon. I see I now have the after lunch crowd, so everyone's done eating. I didn't actually know I had a bio, and I realized I need to update my bio. That one is several years old. So I'm actually now the program manager for the Hanford Project Office, and I've been in that role now for about a year and a half, and it's been a pleasure. Again, I want to echo thanks to the Chamber and also to Hanford Communities for sponsoring this. I want to give just a little bit of background about the Tri-Party Agreement. That's the reason I'm here. It defines our roles and responsibilities and basically sets a framework of how we play together. The Tri-Party Agreement is 21 years old this year. And I liken that to it's now into its young adulthood. And I think our relationship is also in young adulthood. We've made a lot of progress on the cleanup and how we work through our Tri-Party Agreement. And the other analogy I want to draw is the energy. I think the cleanup out there with the stimulus has the same energy as a 21-year-old. When you're out on site, you can feel that energy. You can feel the excitement for the work that's getting done. Having said that, what scares me, if we don't continue this progress, when the Tri-Party Agreement and the cleanup is finished, the Tri-Party Agreement will be very, very old. And again, we still have 30 to 50 years. My goal is that we actually get it done when it's in its middle age and not its old age. And again, to do that, we need to continue to keep the funding. Talk a little bit about the EPA Project Office itself. We're unique in that we were actually the first project office established by EPA anywhere in the nation that we know of. So back in 1990, my main office is in Seattle, Washington. They decided that the Hanford cleanup was important enough to establish a field office. And today we have approximately 10 people working on Hanford and the Idaho National Lab. And based on that, we now have a lot of people that are actually place-based out into communities from EPA. So we like to think that we're the pioneers in that. My bio already talked about our main responsibility at Hanford is to oversee the cleanup of contaminated soils, groundwater, and old contaminated buildings. You saw many pictures that Matt put up, and again, we're making excellent progress with the stimulus funding. So shifting into that, one of the things we actually were able to hire 2 people to help oversee this work. And you go, well, 2 people, that's not that many. But when you only have a staff of 10, that's a 20% increase in our staffing. The other thing it's done is it's really given us the ability to have a lot more of a field presence, which my staff loves. There's nothing worse than sitting in an office pushing paper, so they get to be out there watching the physical progress being made out there. And both the hires are relatively young. One of them is place-based right now in Seattle. She's thrilled with the Tri-Cities, and she's working very hard to figure out how she can move over here and hopefully have a long-term career with EPA overseeing the cleanup. And if I can make it happen, I'm going to. The other thing that everyone has talked about is shovel-ready. That was the key to this, both here and at Idaho. We made sure that the projects we picked, we could hit the ground running. We had the regulatory paperwork all in place, and we simply kept the momentum. And again, that's a very important concept. And the other thing that I don't think Matt mentioned, but we're getting a tremendous return on investment, between 1.3 and 1.6 return on each dollar spent. We need to keep that momentum as we move forward into 2012, because again, that's getting a tremendous bang for the buck. And again, the main reason the ARA was put together was to put people back to work. And again, you saw the numbers that Matt put up. It's staggering. And I think our challenge is to keep those people employed post 2012. And again, I think that's where the community can come in and help us. Looking forward, again, $2 billion here at Hanford, $500 million at the Idaho National Lab. 2012, we're heading into that budget cycle. It's predicted at Hanford we need approximately $500 million to continue the work that we started and to continue to keep DOE in compliance. So this is a critical year for us to get that funding. And I guess I would ask everyone in the community to help support that, because again, we all know that Hanford helps provide the economic engine that drives this community. Again, I appreciate your time and welcome any questions.